Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon?
Then you'll see that it is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself.
The Oracle will see you now.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank you so much for coming on my channel and my very first video in a series of videos that I would like to do. First, I just want to say that this has been a long time coming. I've wanted to do at least a few videos on leaving the Jehovah's Witness cult and all of the things that being a part of that organization has done to my life. I was trying to figure out the best way to start the video, and it's just been a long time coming. I'm so impressed with all of the videos and channels that I have had a chance to listen to and watch. It's amazing to me. I've been out of the cult for 25 years, and at the time that I had decided to leave, I had no idea that there would be as much information and as much experience as there is today. When I left, I felt completely alone. It was an awakening that happened to me when I was about, it basically started when I was 15, but I really left when I was 17 years old. I was motivated to do a few videos for a number of reasons. But the first thing I wanted to do was to just give a brief background on myself and the reason why I'm anonymous, the reason why I decided to use the Oracle as a representation of me, and the reason why I use the Matrix. First of all, I'm not hiding my face for fear of being exposed as an apostate. That's the very last thing on my mind. I haven't had any interaction with Jehovah's Witnesses in any real way in a very long time outside of my family. And I also have no interest in it and haven't had any interest in 25 years. Majority of my family shuns me. But I do have an interesting and distinct story that motivated me to create a video or a few. I do have a huge background in journalism as well as a few other disciplines. But the main reason that, in fact, the only reason that I'm anonymous is because of my profession. I have a very high profile position, and I don't mind people hearing my voice, but because I have a very high profile position, it would impact my career to have videos on YouTube with my face. So I have to do things the way that I'm doing them. And it's not because I'm afraid of the cult, because most people in my family know exactly how I feel about this organization. The other thing that impacted me was I've been listening to a lot of the videos. There's some out there that are just amazing. I've actually put, a few of them in my description, and I wanted to just talk a little bit about what motivated me to create a channel in the first place. As someone who has an extensive background in journalism and an investigative in journalism in a separate part of my life, I don't particularly do that too much anymore. Although, as I said before, I do have a very high profile position. Is that I was trained to look at an ordinary event or story and try and come up with a new slant. So I did want to give my background, my testimony on what it is that I went through, because I do think it's significant. I think it's a very interesting story. I've actually talked about writing a book more than a few times. I do have a very busy professional life. I have a very busy family life, and I'm a very social person. I'm involved in a lot of organizations, and that also impacts my ability to be able to like just find time to be able to do even one video. Even finding time today, I just forced myself to do it, was almost impossible. And learning even the basics of how to create a YouTube channel and upload a video has been quite interesting. I but I feel like I have to do it. I feel like there's so much that I want to say, so much that needs to be said. And I feel like I have a very, very distinctive story. And it touches on a lot of things that I have seen as reoccurring themes and a lot of the videos that I've watched in my downtime. And it's been absolutely fascinating to me because it's amazing. It's people all over the world that have these common threads that they're going through. And I really don't know where to start, because I actually had to do a mental outline even for this first introductory video. What did I want to say? So some of the things that I would like to touch on outside of my personal story, my own personal awakening, is things that I think I can go a little bit more in depth than I've seen. And that's not to say I've seen every video, because I'm sure there have been videos. I just haven't seen them. But for me, some of the things that I wanted to discuss from my own research and my own experience is the very first thing is the mental health. A lack of mental health help. A lack of training of these elders, and just not having the education and background to deal with the huge amount of mental health issues that are found in the Jehovah's Witness religion. The second thing I want to deal with is the social service aspect. That's been a huge problem for me, because I do have a distinctive story, because I am fairly successful, and I've been much more successful than any of the JW family that I've had. So even though they've shunned me, they've also needed me for a lot of different reasons, and that's put me in a very interesting place. And I've had like a almost, if you remember, Darden from the O.J. Simpson case, I had this in contempt feeling in myself, because I've actually been around the world in a lot of ways, and I've actually studied world religion. I've actually talked to people from all different backgrounds and religions. And what makes me upset is the fact that out of all these different, beliefs that the Jehovah's Witness attacks, that they don't have a social service component for their members. And there's a lot of issues that come up that they don't have the proper help for. And not just the fact that they don't want their members to be educated, and that's all about control and fear and manipulation. The less that you are educated and aware, the more that they can control you. But you don't even have access to the appropriate people to help you. And I really, not just social service, but as a subtopic, is the elderly. Because I've had to help my grandparents. I've had to help Jehovah's Witnesses that have been in the religion for many years, didn't have much of an education, and then retired, and then got older and didn't have the necessary things to help them because they were waiting on Armageddon and they just were stuck. I could talk about that for a long time. The biggest thing I want to talk about is the sexual abuse, the child abuse, which is huge in my family. It has absolutely destroyed my family. There is just so much that I can say on that, and I am just so grateful to see all of the people that are speaking out about this. This is one of the reasons that I walked away from this belief. I have a very significant story. It's going to hit very, very hard, and I'm excited to talk about it because I'm finally free enough to talk about it, because a lot of the people that would have stopped me from speaking on it are unfortunately deceased. And even the fact that some of my family members are deceased or transitioned, or however you want to say it, is because of this cult. So all the mental illness, all of the sexual abuse, all of the child abuse, which again has a lot to do with pedophilia and incest. I've seen that theme, and yes, it's very real. And my story is going to be explosive, and I'm really excited to talk about it. And I also want to talk about some things that I haven't really seen talked about, and I really want to touch on those things because I think that one of the things that I want to address is leaving the organization, because I think that a lot of the people that may be on the fence or may be stuck is because they feel like they don't have options. And the reason that I think they don't have options is because they don't understand that you can't just walk into a judicial meeting and not have a whole strategy behind you. You have to think about everything that you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And I think that I had a strategy. I figured it out. I spent a lot of time writing and documenting how I was going to leave. And I think that I really want to help a lot of people as much as I can with my story. And because I do have a high profile position, I do have access to a lot of things. I don't know how many people are going to actually listen to my video or watch it because I can't show my face, and I know that a lot of people like that. But I do hope that anyone that stumbles on this, that takes some time to listen to the things that I'd like to share. And you can even email me. I have an anonymous account, but it's very important that people understand that they're not alone. The awakening and realizing, which is why I like the Matrix in the first place, is that everything you thought you knew was a lie. And I can remember the moment that happened to me. So again, thank you so much for listening to my introduction. I will be adding videos as I have time, but I think this is going to even be cathartic for me. So again, thank you so much, and please look for my next video.